Good day to you. Welcome back to the podcast. Catch it. A new perception. My name is Katu. Think about the pleasure that I've had in this lifetime in changing, and how much I continue to change and how much I desire to continue to change. Thinking about, look to the future a little bit. Thinking about next season, over the next couple months, I will be doing some major changes to this podcast. My hope is that I can start doing some video. I've been encouraged by listeners to actually bring video differently than what I have up to this point. I talked about the picture that I have. If you're listening on YouTube, you can come back and listen to all of the episodes there. If you are listening other places, if you're listening on YouTube, you have the ability to be able to see what appears to be a picture. And in an episode seasons back, I asked about that picture. And what is it? Is it a sunrise or is it a sunset? Is it both? Is it neither? It's actually a video. It is a video that runs the length of the podcast. And if you watch it, there is a change from the beginning to the end of it. I've never identified that, I don't believe, on the podcast before. The video I will do in the future has to do with the fact that I am going to bring a camera on and I'm going to bring my face on. I've been very intentional throughout this podcast to do it the way I did it. Originally, half an hour long. Originally, not naming the episodes. Bringing them down to somewhere between 12 and 15 minutes, closer between 14 and 15 minutes, most episodes. And then beginning to title them and put a name to the episode. And all of it has been intentional to not do those things originally, to do it the length that they were, to bring it to the length that it is. Now, moving forward, and generally speaking, one of the reasons that it's intentional in the way that I do things is because I'm encouraged by other people. You inspire me. It resonates with me when you say something. I'm like, oh, that is why it would make sense to do it differently. This is the essence of this podcast. How can I inspire myself to do things differently? How can you inspire me to do things differently? How can I inspire you to do things in a different way than what you have done up to this point? The reason that I think that one of the reasons I think that this is important in life is because we're going to continue to change. As we change, are we going to get to know our higher self? Are we going to elevate ourselves into what it is that we need to do to be able to become who we need to become before we return to the spirit world? We all have this opportunity. The more we learn, the more we encompass, the more we change, maybe the more comfortable we'll be. Sometimes we change who we are because we're uncomfortable with something. We can no longer tolerate our life the way that it is. I've talked at times about having some friends that belong to 12-step programs. Generally speaking, all of them entered those programs for the exact same reason. Any 12-step program that I know of that anyone ever walked into or entered or allowed it to become part of their life, all of them walked in for the exact same reason, and it was because of circumstance. Now, those circumstances may be as individual as the people are. There may be millions of different circumstances. They all end up there by circumstance. I have never talked to someone that walked through the doors of any of those 12-step programs out of virtue. Okay? So it's the circumstance that brings them in. It's a desire to change because they're so uncomfortable with the way they're living, whether it's Overeaters Anonymous, whether it's some type of sex addicts anonymous, or whether they have a problem with porn, alcohol, drugs, whatever that situation may be, Emotions Anonymous, all kinds of different 12-step programs out there based off of the original 12-step program, which was Alcoholics Anonymous. All of those people ended up there out of circumstance. They ended up there because they were uncomfortable with the way that they were feeling. They wanted to make changes. What if today in our life, and that's probably happened to so many of us that listen to this podcast, and I'm not talking about necessarily walking into a 12-step program. I use that for an example because I'm familiar with some of my friends that belong to those. And many of us have had the opportunity to be able to change because we were uncomfortable. The situation was bad and we needed to make a change. Another example I could use, someone that decides to get out of a marriage, get a divorce, something, separate from someone, long-term relationship. Generally speaking, it's because a change needs to be made. Often, it's very uncomfortable to make that change. It may be uncomfortable to get out. It's more uncomfortable to stay in. That is often the essence of change. Is it may be uncomfortable to change, it's more uncomfortable to stay in it. Well, here we have an opportunity by the essence of this podcast. Each one of these episodes, we have the opportunity to change before it becomes real uncomfortable. This is what I'm talking about. How much change can I make because I have a desire to live different? How much change can I make because you impacted my life? How much change can I make because I impacted my life? We have the ability to be able to see things different and do things different, and we have the ability to be able to walk through life in a way we never have before. I think about how we have many opportunities here. And the essence of how so much of what we talk about is the same. Someone believes in God. Someone doesn't believe in God. Someone believes in Allah. Someone believes in Jesus. Someone believes in Buddha. Someone believes in Confucius. Someone believes in Taoism. There are many different Muhammad, Allah, many different ideas of who the Creator is, what the Creator is, and the essence of that power. I think that people all pray to the same power, even though one may call it Buddha and one may call it Jesus. One may call it prayer, one may call it thought. The essence of it is often the same. And there are certain commonalities to those things. They believe in a power that is all-loving, a power that is gentle, full of purity, understanding, a healer, maybe a counselor, if you will, a counsel. Maybe one that consoles. It has to be coming to someone in a language that they understand. So I throw these ideas of different spiritual paths. Some people live tribal. Some people are very religious to the doctrine. What if we all opened our minds and we believe or came to an understanding that all of these speak the same language? All of them are teaching us to honor and respect ourselves, honor and respect others, honor and respect the deities. For some, that deities might be Mother Earth, our mother that gives us all of our nourishment. We gift her something, she gifts us something, and we get nourishment from her. Most of us, as far as I know, wouldn't live without the earth. We could live in a different country, we could live on different land, we could live maybe even on an island in the ocean, we could live many different aspects. And without the earth itself, we wouldn't live. So is that one of those powers? Are they accurate when they speak of Mother Earth being their mother? I think it's all accurate. And I think that the essence of what we're talking about here is that we need to find the commonality, the one-ment. Know that they're right for the way that they walk. And for me, it's not about convincing someone to walk differently. It's about knowing that their walk is correct for them. They walk with a good heart. They walk with good intentions. They have good follow-through. Maybe I need to more often tell them how great they are, how wonderful they are, how loving they are. Thank them. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. As we walk through this lifetime, and we're inspired by different walks of life. We're inspired by different people, and we begin to change. Do we have a desire to change more, or do we want to sit in what we have? Are we content? Do we realize that when we honor the 7 directions, of course, the 4 winds would come first, and then the other 3, and the last of the 7 being in. West, go sunwise. North, east, south, up, down, and in. When we honor that direction of in each and every morning, do we receive what we need to receive? Do we feel like we've been nourished in a way that we could not be nourished before? If so, do that. How do you go in? Maybe through yoga, through meditation, maybe through prayer, maybe through conversation with another human being. Maybe that brings us to the direction of going in. What is in? Into the Creator, into one's soul, into one's heart, into the depth of life. What is in to you? If it matters, you will find it, you will encompass it, and you will walk with it. If it does not matter, you will leave it behind. The reason I say this is because I think that it's one of the essence of this program and this podcast that we continue to put out each week is that take what resonates with you. Get it into your subconscious. Change your life. Change other people's lives. Impact your own life. Impact other people's lives. And move with it. If it doesn't resonate with you, leave it behind. Don't get resentful about things in your life if they don't resonate with you. Walk through them. Walk with them. Let them go. Hold on to them. Make it work in your life exactly the way you need to. With pure love, dignity, respect for yourself and for others. Good health, good help, and good understanding to each and every one of you. That is a prayer. It is a prayer that I have for me. It's a prayer that I have for you. Good health, good help, and good understanding. Looking forward to next time. Live in harmony with and use the bounty of the land to bring kindness to the world. Dok Shao.